In our society, there are many things that are considered to be taboo: adultery, polygamy, online dating. But one subject that is rather taboo, despite its legality in far more countries than is comfortable, is incest. Definitions of incest vary from group to group due to varying ideas of kinship. Although the Columbia Electronic Encyclopedia loosely defines it as sexual relations between persons to whom marriage is prohibited by custom or law because of their close kinship. Throughout history, there have been many families that were often comprised of consanguineous marriages, especially one of royal heritage, for example, the Habsburg family of Europe. Similarly, in Gabriel Garcia Marquez's novel 100 Years of Solitude, the Buendia family also has a history of consanguineous marriages throughout the family tree. Both of these families were led to their eventual demise due to the incestuous nature of their family relationships. In addition, due to the repetition of consanguineous marriages across multiple generations, many physical and psychological problems became apparent in later generations. The taboo relationship of interfamily marriage among the Buendia family in Marquez's 100 Years of Solitude reflects upon the incestuous relations between the royal families in Spain and Austria, which too led to their downfalls and total destruction, the psychological effects of such relationships also being found within the genre of magical realism itself. The royal house of Habsburg, one of the most powerful dynasties of medieval and Renaissance Europe, reigned over much of Europe for centuries. From 1516 to 1700, it has been estimated that over 80% of marriages within the Spanish branch of the Habsburg dynasty were consanguineous, that is, they were marriages between close blood relatives. Most often, these unions took the form of marriages between first cousins, double first cousins, and uncles and nieces. The so-called Habsburg lip, a form of mandibular prognathism, often seen among members of the Habsburg dynasty, was so pronounced in the final Habsburg king Charles II's case that it was difficult for him to speak. An enlarged tongue, gastrointestinal problems, mental retardation, and possible growth problems meant that Charles was raised almost as an infant until the age of 10. A study found elevated inbreeding coefficients amongst many Habsburg. In fact, the levels increased consistently from the earlier Spanish Habsburg, like King Philip I, to Charles II, the last Spanish Habsburg king. The study further argues that Charles's ill health was a direct result of centuries of consanguineous unions. Specifically, they point to a growth hormone deficiency and severe renal tubular acidosis, which may have accounted for his short stature and his many physical deformities and ailments. Inbreeding is especially problematic in small populations where the genetic variation is already limited. By inbreeding, individuals are further decreasing genetic variation by increasing homozygosity in the genomes of their offspring. Thus, the likelihood of detrimental recessive alleles to pair is significantly higher in a small inbreeding population than in a larger inbreeding population. Inbreeding has all been found to decrease fertility as a direct result of increasing homozygosity of detrimental recessive alleles. Among mothers who experience stillbirths and early infant deaths, those that are inbreeding have a significantly higher chance of reaching repeated results with future offspring. Additionally, consanguineous parents possess a high risk of premature birth and producing underweight and undersized infants.